Stephanie with the Rancher's Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm out here in the garden, and as you can see, I have my tomatoes are going really good, and yesterday I was able to put up a bunch of pints of salsa, and we are winding down with the produce in the garden. So I put up all the green beans that I'm gonna get, and my cucumbers are kind of starting to die off with the heat that we've been having. So right now my main focus is tomatoes and peppers. Those are the two things that are just flooding in like crazy, and I'm putting them up. So I'm really thankful for the harvest that we're getting this year. But today we are going to talk about the two different kinds of gardens that I'm doing and why I do both. So here, as you can see, is my raised bed garden. So these are just raised beds that I got on Amazon, and I can link them in the description. I truly do love them, and there's one reason why I decided to do raised beds this year. And I've done them in the past when we lived in California, but not here in Missouri. And I quickly realized last year that summertime is our busiest season. So my girls all three rodeo, and so we are gone a ton in the summertime, traveling to different rodeos. All of our rodeos are at least an hour and a half away, and so it just is a really busy time for me. And so getting out into the garden is really hard. I don't get out here very often. I get out here to harvest, I get out here to do quick weeding here and there, and if I need to water from time to time if we're not getting good summer rains. So thankful that this summer we have been getting good summer rains. But the raised bed gardens help me because they keep bugs under control, they keep weeds under control, and it really holds in that moisture when we do get those soaking rains. So I've actually absolutely loved having my raised bed garden this year. However, I am actually getting ready to start a new spot so that in the spring I will have my raised beds here, and then just over there across the yard is where I'm going to put in an in-the-ground bed. Now the reason why I like to do both is when you have raised beds, it is phenomenal in helping you to maintain your garden. If you're a new gardener, I really enjoy it. However, be aware that your fruit does come on a lot faster and ripens a lot faster, sometimes before it's actually ready, because the boxes actually hold in the heat. So the soil is hotter than what an in-the-ground does, and so your fruit's going to ripen a lot faster, and it may not be quite ready for it. It speeds up that process. I don't find that hinders me very much. My tomatoes, I don't feel like heated up any faster and ripened any faster than they would normally. About this time in August is when I am harvesting my tomatoes anyways, but just know that. But the in the ground gives you a wider variety of what you can grow. So there were a few things that I wasn't able to do this year here in my raised beds, and that is just because they needed more space. So I didn't do pumpkins. I did do melons. I have one in the ground bed at the edge of this, which I am planning to do all my berry bushes. So I have 3 raspberry bushes right there, and then I'm going to put some blueberry. Where my melons are right now, I'm going to put some blueberry bushes this spring. So that was okay for my melons over there, but had I not had that space, it would have been a lot harder in a raised bed situation. Other things that I know I'm going to want to put in the ground is some garlic. I know I want to put my tomatoes over there. These are fine here in the raised beds, but they'll be much more efficient in my space if I do them in the ground. If I wanted to do corn, it's really hard to do that in a raised bed. Some other things that I wanted to do this year that I just wasn't able to with my raised bed are some asparagus and some potatoes, carrots, things like that. Now, those things can be grown here in raised beds, but they take up a lot of space. Asparagus is an perennial, so it's going to come back year after year. So wherever you plant it, you want it to be for the long haul. And in my raised beds, I want to be able to switch them out as I need to. So those just make most sense to put over in the ground. I'm kind of thinking of my raised beds to be like all the things that I'm going to eat fresh eating and things I'm going to pick from all the time. My in the ground beds are going to be things that I'm preserving for long term. So I plan to move my green beans over there. I plan to plant my garlic over there. if it's ready in time, because I do need to plant my garlic this fall, so it probably is going to go back in my raised beds for this season. But I'm going to move my tomatoes over there. I'm going to do carrots over there, potatoes over there, corn over there, green beans over there. I think I might have already said that. And just leave this for really my fresh salad picking and just fresh eating in general. So that's the reason why I'm going to do both. We are going to go ahead and get the in the ground prepped and ready to go. It's very, very simple, and I'm going to show you how to do it really easily when you have grass already, and we're going to prep it to become an in the ground bed. Okay, so we're over here where I am going to put my in the ground bed. So just for context, right straight across the yard is where my raised beds are, where I'm going to leave some grass space in between, and this is behind our shop. So this is just kind of an empty dead space that's just full of grass, and so I'm going to put my in the ground over here. Still very close to the house and easy to pull in produce, but not quite as close as my raised beds are. So there's two ways that you can do this, and I've done both ways. The first way is you can simply just cut your grass short, which is what I'm going to do here, and then you can put a bunch of cardboard down and a ton of compost on top, like a heavy layer compost, and then mulch on top of that and let it sit. And by springtime, the cardboard has broken down, the grass underneath is dead, and you're ready to rock. I've done it that way. This year, I'm going to do it just a little bit differently. So I am going to cut the grass short, and then I'm going to take a tarp, and I'm going to stake down a tarp to kill the grass underneath. So once you lay a tarp down, it cannot get any more sunlight, it's not going to get any rain, and it's going to die underneath. After that, I will put a thinner layer of compost down on it, and that is just aged manure that we have, that we keep turning over there since we are in a high abundance of cattle manure on our ranch. And then I'll take a tiller and I'll till that in, and we're ready to go. So what I'll probably do is leave the tarp down all winter long. In the spring, I'll add the compost, till it up, and it's ready to go. I could speed that process up by killing this for a couple months. By about November, hopefully the grass is completely dead. Till it up with a tiller, add the compost, and get it all mixed in, and I could probably plant some, but I will like it to sit and really get that compost in good. So I'm probably going to do the later, and I'll do my garlic in the raised beds for this year while this gets a good prep, because I want the soil to be right and good for long term. I don't want to do anything, cut corners, anything like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this nice and short so that we can get ready to put the tarp down. Okay, so now I've gotten my grass short, and I'm ready to get a tarp, lay it down, and get it stuck in the ground. If you are going to do the other way, at this point you would lay your cardboard down. It takes a lot of cardboard, and then dump your compost right on top of that. My tarp down, and I think we're going to find some stakes and go ahead and put the stakes into the holes of the tarp, just to make sure that if we get any of those high Missouri winds, that doesn't take my tarp and blow it away. I think I might find one more tarp and put it back there just to make it a longer stretch, but this is a good start, and we'll finish it up another day and get the rest of it done. And now I'll just let it sit and let the grass underneath it completely die off, so that then I can till it up, add some of that aged manure compost that we have, and it'll be ready to go by springtime. All right, so there you have it, are my 2 ways of gardening, one in the ground, one raised beds, and why I do both. And I hope that it was helpful. I hope it gave you an easy, simple way to get an in-the-ground garden going that doesn't take a lot of prep work up front. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. I send out 1 new video every single week. Jump on over to the blog and put in your email address. I send out an email a week over there on Tuesdays. It always has my YouTube video in it with some extra posts on just different recipes, farm life, things that we're doing here on the homestead. I hope this video was helpful for you, and happy gardening, everyone. We will see you next time. Take care.